So I discussed the 3 stages, and I'm moving into modeling now, and that's where I have the canvas covered, and I go into each one of the objects and shape them with add color or detract or wipe off, whatever I'm going to do to have the effect that I want. So I'm going to go in here for my flowers, for example. There's kind of a pale, I don't know what you'd call it, warm color underneath. There's one over on this left-hand side. So I'm moving to a smaller brush. Instead of like my number 6 or 8, I'm going to like a 2 to do some of the smaller, more detailed work. I also just want to point out how fun this is with a big brush stroke, slash of wet, thick paint, and how that adds to me so much fun and excitement to the painting instead of modeling it and taking away all the brush strokes. I don't want to do that. I want to leave the brush strokes. So now I'm just squinting my eyes and I'm making adjustments and I'm looking for things that I haven't seen before. Colors, for example. There's this, in the reflections, it's green, gray, not really sure. As I apply this, I don't want to lose the main effect, which is the value between this flower and the shadow. I always have to remember this is my main theme. So my darkest darks and my lightest lights will be here in the flower. And everything else is going to be subordinate to this area. So I'm not going to have that much detail over here. I'll have a little more here than here. This is back in recession. So I'm even going to take out some edges. And edges is a whole different thing that I'll discuss at some future point. But today the design, the direction of the flowers is the way the petals are. And so I move my brush in the same way that the petals are going. That's called working with the form. When we paint outside, there's no way to replicate the intensity of the sunlight inside a home. The painting isn't going to be outside in the sun. The painting is going to be inside a house when I'm done. So I have to try to establish that light. And so we paint with shade. Otherwise, I paint in the sunshine like this, and you pull it inside a house, and it'll look like a night painting. It won't work. So I want to show it to you in light, and then pull it back in shade to show you why, or explain why we need to paint like this, and so it'll work much better inside the house. Now that lily pad out there is overlapping, and I don't have mine doing that, and I want to establish that. So I come in here, and now I've got it overlapping. When you can do overlapping, it's doing anything, it's always beneficial because you're describing a background and a foreground effect, top to bottom, if you will. And try not to do too many strokes with one color. Do 1 or 2 and then switch it around. Always be moving your brush and paint all around on the canvas. Don't stay in one place and just work it to death. Because you need a whole. You need to have a sense of the whole in the entire painting and not one area that's all tight. Although, of course, this is going to be my so-called tightest area. Now I work with a very small brush in here, trying to get or define these little guys, little petals. And the more detail I put in like this, the more interesting the painting is going to be. Again, this is in the subject area, in the focal point. And when I have this color, feel free to pretend you're Claude and paint, move around and put different colors. That there are reflections out there. There's some greens and blues and a lot of different colors out there. There's some sky color down in there, which would be over in here. So put that in. And do it in your way. This happens to be phthalo blue I'm working with. This is quinacridone rose, actually. But see and how inventive you can be. So now let's come back to what color it is. It was kind of a dull gray. So I'm going to mix my gray here and see if I can't have a sense of that koi fish coming in here. And if I get it in, fine. If not, I can just wipe it out. So it happened to be a gray and an orange, so I'm going to push it some of that color. And maybe I'll have the head of one coming in here. Or in here. So, and if a particular color doesn't work, then it's okay. I can just wipe it off and redo it. At this point, I'm back to my big brush. I have some detail. I have enough detail in, and I'm still aiming for the larger picture. I'm working with reflective lights. I'm seeing some blues that I can put in, some lavenders that I already have put in, and I'm trying to just kind of play and make it a little bit stronger a statement. So with any object like this flower, you can think of it as a bowl of ice cream. It's going to sit onto something, and where that flower or ice cream hits another surface, the water, there's going to be a very small kind of shadow underneath it. And so think of that when you do either landscapes or flowers like this on water. Try to have a very dark line underneath, so it'll suggest that this curvature round flower hits the water. And the water's here and the flower is here, and right where the two meet is going to be a really dark color or accent. So I'm moving into that last stage of highlights or accents. The difference between the two: accents are simply very dark spots, and highlights are very, very light spots. So see where they might be. I squint my eyes down, and there could be an eye of the fish there, maybe there. There might be some shadows that are lip of the flower, the lily pad coming up here. So move around and highlights again. Do I have enough light in this beautiful flower? So I'll mix a little bit of white with my quinacridone and see if these flowers can stand a little bit more. Yeah, they can. And the shadow color is this, looks like a blue, yellow, gray, and so just try to mix it and put it in there. Where the sun hits it, it's very, very light. There's one in here as well. Maybe just the tips of these flowers are getting hit. And so, there's the koi fish I was talking about. It's coming into the scene now. So you just kind of take a look at them, and now it's kind of a peach color. So, you just kind of say, hey, thank you, that's good timing. So you go back in, and now I'm going to model the koi fish a little more. And like so. So it's really important to take a step back and make sure the forms and everything is working together. What I noticed is it looked too much of like a rectangle and less of a half a ball. And this flower shape is more of a ball, not a rectangle. So I went in and I cut back some of the outside edges to make it look like what's out there. And like so. So these are the highlight stages. I have my darks and I have my really light, beautiful light yellow. I don't know if you can see it in the film, but it's out there and it's just so pretty. You can just imagine how Monet would get carried away with his colors when he'd paint these lilies. It's just so fun. And what I'm doing is scumbling here. It's part of the final finish stages, especially when you do water, because there's reflections from who knows where, doing who knows what. So we got some pinks and some blues and some lavenders, and I'm just having fun. And I hope you do too on your next oil painting. If you like, you can visit my webpage. And on there I have my blog where I have various instructional sections and pages on techniques. So I hope you visit my blog. That's silvioscorner.blogspot.com. And my website is silvio.flv.com, where I have over 60 paintings from all around the world. And my Facebook has, under Silvestri Fine Art, has my events and my shows that are coming up. So I hope you visit them, and I hope you enjoyed this tape. Thank you. Good. Fun. Fun.